Hello, and J Nell here, switching it up a little bit. We can talk about more than just fights here. And I actually used to do minute movie reviews, where I did reviews of movies in just 1 minute. I'm changing that up here now. I'm bringing back this series with five-minute movie reviews. So I'm gonna take our time a little bit. Yeah, I love movies. This is gonna be a little bit longer because it's introduction here, but I do love movies. One of the things that I've been missing during quarantine is the movie theaters. Of course, I've been watching tons of movies online, tons of series. It actually started with Alien, because I thought Aliens was the first one. I didn't realize the first one was made in like 1979. Holds up really well, by the way. So once I watched that one, I went ahead and watched all of the Aliens movies. Then I watched, I forgot what happened with this Scary Movie series, and I didn't realize there's like 5. So I watched all of that. There's a bunch of like, what happened with that? And I went back and watched all of that, all the Bad Boys, all of Mission Impossibles, I just kind of went all the Hostels because I didn't realize there was a third one. So yeah, and then a bunch of one-offs as well. The Thing, They Live, a bunch of one-offs. So yeah, I still watched a lot of movies, but it did not quench my thirst for the movie theater. It is one of my releases that I just truly missed, being in the dark, being able to be the fly on the wall and put myself inside of the movie and suspend disbelief and just escape. And so once the theaters here in California finally opened back up, I was ecstatic, and I was like, you know what, this is a good time to go ahead and bring back this movie review series. So speaking of watching series of movies, one of the movie series I watched was Saw, because I forgot how everything went down, and there's like 8 of them. So yes, I watched all 8 Saw movies, and I watched them in 3 days, because they're like an hour and a half. Don't do that ever. Don't ever do that. I had images of blood and guts and all torture just flashing in my mind while I was washing the dishes, trying to go to sleep, talking. I mean, walking down the street, just flashes all of a sudden. I saw images. It was not the business. I had a hard time sleeping. Okay, I love horror movies. I'll watch bad ones, good ones, ones that I know are going to be bad, but I'll watch them to see if they're funny, because they're so bad they're funny, you know what I mean? So I can take horror movies. I don't get scared easily, even though I believe in the supernatural. And still, I just don't ever watch all the Saw movies in 3 days. Don't do it. Okay, so of course, we are back with this movie series with Spiral. It is from the book of Saw, and it is a spin-off. Now, real quick, with my movie reviews, I don't reveal huge spoilers. I'm not going to tell you who did it, or any major plots, or any major big scenes, or anything like that. But if you're like me, and I don't like to know anything, sometimes they'll be like, father or daughter, and I'll be like, if the daughter wasn't shown in the preview, I don't need to know that he had a daughter. You know what I mean? I'm like that. I don't like to know anything. So if you are like that and you don't like to know anything, then you may not want to watch this. But again, I'm not going to do any major spoilers here. We're just going to go ahead and talk about this movie a little bit real quick. So let's go ahead. Now, Spiral came out last Friday. I couldn't wait. I actually watched it on Thursday. I think it would have benefited from being released in September, or excuse me, near Halloween. It only made $8 million. I don't know why they're calling it a flop. I think that's the whole quarantine thing, still getting things back on track. And it was #1, and #2 only made $3 million. So I'm like, give it a break. Anyway, so this is a spin-off movie from the mind of Chris Rock. Of course, he was at a dinner where a Lionsgate person was there. He was able to pitch it, and they got a pitch meeting. They bought it, and that's how we got this movie. Real quick, it from the director of Saw 2 through 4. And you can tell it does feel like a Saw movie. This takes place 10 to 15 years after all the Saw movies happened. And no, it's not the same killer. That's something we knew beforehand. That's not even really a spoiler. So yes, this is a spin-off. No, you do not have to watch all the Saw movies to understand this one. It does stand alone. $40 million. Much more expensive than the other Saw movies, and you can tell. The cameras, it looked clear, like HD. It actually felt like reality. The location, so we actually got to feel like we were in a city. Multiple locations, indoor, outdoor, a big precinct with multiple levels and multiple rooms, so we actually felt like a police station. All the Saw movies take place like in a box because they're so cheap, and so it doesn't actually feel like it could happen. It doesn't feel like reality. That's not what it is here. The colors, more earth tones in it, while still having that green, blue, grimy look, but again, makes it feel more like reality. So I dug that. You can see the money. Of course, you have the big stars with Chris Rock, Samuel L. Jackson, who's not in it that much, but he steals every scene he's in. You have that there. Corny ass dialogue. Corny dialogues, it's predictable. So corny, it's predictable. Cop cliches. So many cop cliches that it's predictable. Rogue cop who doesn't want a partner. Hard-nosed lieutenant. Can't trust anybody. It feels like a late 90s, early 2000s cop movie with a crazy serial killer. Kind of feels like Criminal Minds, the movie, basically, because it's a little bit more of a cop procedural movie, like the first like 2 or 3 Saws were, but it's a little bit less on the horror on this one, which is one of my knocks for it. It reveals, well, it doesn't reveal who the killer is, but if you watch the Saw movies and you kind of know how things go, something happens like halfway through the movie, which you figure it out, basically. However, not knowing if this is a standalone movie or not, I was like, well, are they going to get this person or not? Because I don't know if there's going to be a sequel. So there was that mystery for me. And I hadn't quite figured out the motivation until the end as well. So there was that little motive for me as well. But I did figure out about halfway through the movie. It's only about an hour and a half. Nice and short. There's fewer traps, but there are enough, and I like how they're spread out. It's not about the traps. The traps actually further along the plot of the movie, and I appreciated that. This one's story first, traps secondary, and I appreciated that they're a part of the plot. The traps are brutal. They are original, and they achieve the effect of just, oh my God, stomach churning, teeth biting, oh, type just tension and horror. It achieves that. I dug the traps, and like I said, there are enough traps. Like I said, it should feel more like a horror movie. The Saw movies, they have the cop procedures while you have the horror stuff kind of happening simultaneously, which makes it feel more like a horror movie. I would rather that happen here. I wish there was just more things to make it feel more like a horror movie. Some of the traps and things happening simultaneously, maybe taking longer, I'm not sure, but I did wish that it felt a little bit more like a horror movie. Like I said, Sam Jackson stole every scene. Chris Rock's performance. I liked Chris Rock's performance. Yes, there are moments where he's like trying too hard, and there's some weird cuts, some things that I would blame on the director, not him. Little close-ups that shouldn't have been as close up and shouldn't have been lingering quite as long. There's things in the editing room and things that you can do that can shape the actor's performance in a way that they didn't intend on happening. So I don't think all of it was his fault, but I did like it overall. I thought he got better as the movie went on. I did think he was believable as a cop. I'm not quite sure what age he was supposed to be. I think he's supposed to be an older cop, but he looks so young. However, when you introduce Samuel Jackson, that made him, it actually made him still feel young. I think he's supposed to be like in his late 40s, 50s, like his real age, but he doesn't feel like that. He is the comedic element of the movie. The Saw movies tend to have one. Spiral does too, and I knew it would be him. I expected that, so that didn't throw me off. And I didn't think that it was too much jokes. I felt like the jokes were cynical, that he was bitter. They're coming from a place of bitter, of being wrong, that sort of thing. So it kind of went. It didn't stand out or distract me in the movies. I like this killer's reason better. Jigsaw, of course, as you know, he had a pregnant wife who, through an accident, a crackhead was basically running away from somebody, pushed open a metal door hard, pushed it into her stomach, and they had a miscarriage. Being an older couple, this was like their last chance to happen, of course, and then Jigsaw got sick. So this is a tragic loss, total tragedy, but it was an accident. And there's a difference between an accident and a deliberate action. And almost off that alone, I like this killer's reason better. Not to the point where, like, if this happened to me, I would start making traps. But it is one of those things where it's like, yeah, I might want to get some revenge. I might want to do something. Yeah, you know, I might want to do something. So I do like the reason better. The end sequence, of course. Now, the end sequence, this is really where it felt like a Saw movie. Oh, I forgot to say, the soundtrack. That was something unexpected. I really like the soundtrack. There's 21 Savage on a couple of songs. Again, I left the movie and looked up the soundtrack, and we have some songs in the playlist. That was something unexpected that I got from the movie. And yeah, good end scene. And I didn't think it was over dramatic. I liked the way it ended, and it ended abruptly though, like I said. So there we go. That is my review of the Saw, or no, excuse me, what's called a Saw movie, but Spiral from the book of Saw. Now, real quick, did I like it? Again, I'm biased. I am a fan. And yes, I did like it. Like I said, there is some holes and some things in there, predictable, especially for someone like me who is a fan. But I still enjoyed it. I enjoyed the traps. I enjoyed just having him and Sam there elevate the cast. Again, you could see the movie. This movie looked like a movie that you could see in the theater. The Saw movies feel like you shouldn't even pay any money for them. So this one actually looked like something that you could pay for. So I did like it. I do recommend it, especially for Saw fans. If you're a horror fan, period, again, you don't have to see the Saw movies to enjoy this one. So I do recommend it. You don't have to see it in the theater. You can see it, you know, when it comes out or something like that. But I do think it's something to check out. And real quick, I want to add another element to my movie review series is future wantings. Which I want there to be a Spiral 2, so I hope it does do well enough to get to have that. There is going to be another Saw movie. It's already been greenlit, and so one of my wantings, is that why not have a Saw universe? If M. Night Shyamalan can create a universe, even though Glass was just terrible. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but for someone who really liked Unbreakable and Split, it just did not quench my thirst, honey. But if he can have a universe, why can't Saw? Get it done. I don't know. Have the two sequels running kind of simultaneously in the same time realm, but in different cities, different states, or something like that. And I don't want it to be a mashup, like a crossover. I don't want that. No, but you could have things happening simultaneously in different places. So I don't know, and then have some kind of string plot line that runs through it all. So yeah, I want a Saw universe. All right, let's go ahead and end this video. Please, please like and subscribe. And I know this is a little bit different, but we can talk about some different things. Please comment. Let's get the conversation out there. Please tell me about your love of movies. If you're excited to go back, you might be in a state where you had them the whole time. So if so, let me know anything interesting that you may have seen. And yeah, let's talk about the movies. Subscribe, like, talk to me. Take care. Goodbye.